Welcome back, everyone. When President Muhammadu Buhari appointed a Minister of State for Petroleum Resources without a main minister, he knew he was going to act in that capacity. But how well has the president fared in this function? Well, senior lawyer Mr. Femi Falana does not think the president should still remain. Falana said it was better for Mr. Buhari to appoint someone else to supervise the ministry. He said, and I quote, "Having regard to the enormous responsibilities of the office of the Minister of Petroleum Resources and the chairman of the NNPC board, President Buhari is advised to relinquish the ministerial position in view of his busy schedule and appoint another Nigerian of proven integrity and competence to superintend the affairs of the ministry." End of quote. Let's continue the conversation now. I still have Senator Omotayo Alasha Adura, is the chairman, Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream and the Senate. Thank you so much, Senator, for staying with us on the program. Let me quickly ask you this. Do you think that President Muhammadu Buhari should step aside or relinquish the ministerial appointment seat that is given to himself in the Petroleum Resources Ministry?
Well, first of all, I want to say that Mr. President is the minister in command. All those people who he appointed as ministers are working for him. They are taking part of his responsibilities away. But judging from the daunting problem facing our country today, I believe Mr. President should devote more time to other things and let an independent person run the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and be able to report to him if it is 2 times a week, if it's weekly, if it's bi-weekly, as much as possible. Let other people handle this ministry, because that is where the bulk of the income of this country comes from, and we cannot afford to have any pile-up, of things that should be done quickly in the ministry. All the efforts that Mr. Kachiku has been putting into reforming this ministry, I'm sure if he were to be the main person in charge of that ministry, it would have gone much faster than what we are seeing today. But Mr. President has tried for 2 years. I believe it is time for him to now relinquish that position and give it to someone else who will do the job.
One of the fears a lot of people in the reactions that we've read over the past days on this issue is the fact that a close ally to the president, the chief of staff, is a member of the board. Do you think that the chief of staff should be there in any ways on that board?
Well, because Mr. President is the minister. I'm sure if Mr. President is no more the Minister of Petroleum Resources, the chief of staff will leave that board. To me, he is representing Mr. President, because he will see Mr. President on a day-to-day basis and will be able to report activities of the ministry to him. But as soon as he stops being the Minister of Petroleum Resources, I believe the chief of staff will leave that position, and it will be the responsibility of the Minister of Petroleum Resources to report to Mr. President according to schedule.
Okay, another issue will be that when you're investigating people in this kind of environment of when allegations are going back and forth, left, right, and center, would you suggest that Mr. Mekanti Baru, that is the GMD of NNPC, and Dr. Ibe Kachiku, on the other hand, should step aside pending the moment of this investigation is over?
I believe so. Especially the man who is doing the day-to-day running of the organization, in order not to hinder or hamper, that investigation, because records will be needed, and even from the date of the leakage of that letter, I think action should have been taken to ensure that will be missing when the investigation starts. So I believe that the two of them, should be asked to step aside temporarily, and when the investigation is over, whoever is culpable will go, and whoever is not culpable will continue with his duties.
Senator Alashadura, I'll put this question to you because your party, the APC, did say when assuming office that fighting corruption is going to be a major agenda of your government. As a senior member of the APC, when allegations of 20 billion US dollars is being raised in the cash cow of the nation's economy, how do you feel?
Well, that somebody awarded contract does not mean the money has been stolen. I think we should differentiate between the two. Lack of due process is different from stealing. If at the end of the day it is found that due process is not followed, whoever did wrong will be punished. That's my belief. That's what I believe our party would encourage Mr. President to do. In fact, Mr. President, as the leader of the party, we have no choice than to fulfill his manifesto and the promises he made to Nigerians during the campaigns, that the main plank of his administration will be fight against corruption. And he has done it creditably so far. And I believe this one will be another step in the right direction to fight corruption in this country. But please, let us dichotomize between those
all right, it seems we're having some technical issues, but we'll stay there. Let me quickly put this question to you, Senator. We understand that over 40 firms are going to be invited and probed by the Senate over some cool-term contract. What can you tell us about this, and why are you going to be probing them?
Because we want to go to the root of this matter. If you are doing an investigation, even those people that had not been mentioned, when you are doing your work, you may find out that you may have to invite them. But as of today, these are the people that we think should be invited, should be interrogated, and from there, we may even proceed to invite and interrogate many more people, many more organizations as the probe continues.
I would like to take you on, before I allow you go, on this one. With the kind of contracts and the kind of decisions being made by allegations of some of these decisions and activities of the GMD, Mr. Mekanti Barrow, politically speaking, what kind of backing do you think he has?
Well, I think Mr. President should look in-house. You will remember that when the matter of Mr. Magu came to the floor of the Senate, why some people were rooting for Mr. Magu to be confirmed, a letter came from the presidency, one of the arms of the presidency, to say that Mr. Magu is a corrupt human being and should not be touched with one pole. So you can see that something is wrong somewhere, and Mr. President should look in.
All right, that's Senator Tayo Alashadura. Many thanks for your thought there on the program. Senator Alashadura is the chairman, Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream. Thank you so much.